Welcome to my birthday episode, everybody. I'm very pleased to be here on my birthday. And that's a fact.
Samesies. Samesies. I'm so happy to be here.
You would think that I would be like, no, I'm not recording on my birthday, but I want to.
And we have a list. I have a list of great questions for Shelby. Here's a little known fact about Shelby's birthday. I took the day off today. I already have Wednesdays off, but if I didn't have Wednesdays off, I would have taken tomorrow off because ever since your 22nd birthday, we've gotten shit-faced on your birthday and had a horrible hangover the day after.
I will say I'm disappointed in us today because it's 3:40 and I only have a slight buzz, like slight.
Well, I also looked in your pantry for tequila and you don't have any. So there's my disappointment because I was going to surprise us with tequila shots, but you don't have any.
It's because we drank it all on the 4th of July.
Well,
This is what I will say about myself in my 34th year is that I have grown and I don't have liquor on hand unless it's left over from something or we have like a thing like New Year's Eve or the 4th of July. Like, I just don't have liquor.
well, here's the thing about me, Taylor. I always will have coconut tequila in my pantry because somebody left
You
it at
still
my
have
house.
it?
I sure do. Someone left it at my house. It's trash. It tastes like tanning oil, and I can't get rid of it. So I'll always have tequila at my house.
I need to take this to my sister's and sneak it into her pantry. She would have no idea.
It would be so funny.
She'd have no idea that I did that. She's always gone when I'm there. Yeah, so I tend to like to get lit on my birthday. I did have goals of like laying on the couch and drinking rosé all day, watching documentaries, but I've actually enjoyed the day.
Me too. It's been really fun.
So yeah, this is my birthday episode, and I don't know what else to say about it.
Happy 34th birthday. So happy that you're 34. It's so wild to me that we've known each other since 21. That's 13 years. And I feel like we've lived so much of life together. And I don't want to cry, so I won't. But I just feel like we've lived so much of life together.
We have known each other as long as I've been married.
It's insane.
Yeah, but you weren't at my wedding. That sucks.
Why? What? Did you get married at 21?
I got married in August, and I had just turned in October. Okay. I was gonna say, if I met you and you didn't come to my wedding, that's weird because I know I would have been like, come to my wedding.
Yeah, for sure. But no, we met in October, but I would have for sure been at your wedding because I love blending. So for sure.
It's a fun time. I agree. When you're there, not when everything else is just boring. Yeah, being 34, I feel not weird or not old. I don't know. I told Taylor today I feel like I have good energy today. Like today I was just like, oh, this feels good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
We've lived a lot of life together. We've been through a lot of stages together.
Besties for the restie.
It's crazy. So, anyways, I have a list of questions for you that we're going to answer. She does not know any of these questions, and I'm very excited. And our listeners that submitted them, thank you. We got some really good questions. I'm really excited.
I'm a bit nervous, but I feel like I'll do well under
It'll be
pressure.
good. Okay, should we begin? Do we have anything else to catch up on?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, number one. What is the worst holiday and why?
The worst holiday, in my opinion, is Thanksgiving. It is very boring. It is in a terrible weather season. You basically eat a bunch of traditional food that's low-key not that good. And you have the stress about being around certain families sometimes, or it's like a shit ton of work and very little like reward because then you eat a lot and then you feel sick. So that is why I personally like to travel on Thanksgiving because I think it's a very lame holiday and I don't understand.
Kate, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's one of my favorite, but I just have to say because August babies are conceived like around Thanksgiving.
I just read that on that reel.
So like, why were people the last thing they want to do is have sex
with mashed potato gut?
So this is probably TMI, but I'm going to tell anyways. Back when I worked in OBGYN, we had like this little calculator thing that would say like when a baby was conceived. So I got curious and I was conceived on Thanksgiving. And I literally text my mom and I was like, Mom, why were you and Dad having sex on Thanksgiving? Like that.
What did she say?
She was like, I don't know. I was 18.
She remembers?
17. I don't know if she really remembered. She was kind of uncomfortable about it, which I mean, valid. That was probably an inappropriate question, but still, like, why were they having sex on Thanksgiving? That's so weird.
I mean, here's what I always wonder too when people are like, I know when I conceived this child, like they just know, like either you don't have a lot of sex and that's how you know, or like it was so, I don't know. I don't understand.
Same.
I feel like you have to like not be super regular to know that that was the exact day.
Do you know when
But
Henry was
also,
conceived?
here's what I have to say.
What?
Just because you were born on that day doesn't mean that was your actual due date.
True.
So it might not have been
And
Thanksgiving.
I think that my mom did say I was like delivered on my due date.
Henley's birthday was supposed to be the 26th of June, and I said no. I don't remember why.
Should be a Gemini, right?
No.
Or
I
no,
just,
she wouldn't
I
be a
think I just
Gemini.
was done being pregnant. But if she would have been on Gemini, I would have been like, I'm on bed rest. This girl can stay in here forever until she comes out in not Gemini season. But that's what I'm trying to get to is like, you have your birthday, but that probably wasn't your actual due date.
I don't know. Do you know when Henley was conceived?
No.
I forgot that we were sharing our wines that we drink. I do not know how to say this. This is our second bottle.
Redentor.
This is very good. And we put lemon zest in. Pro tip, add lemon zest to your rosé bubbles. Delicious.
It's amazing.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to zoom in because this is very good. And it actually wasn't that expensive either.
We also had one right before this called Toka.
TOCA.
Yeah, TOCA. It was a new one at our liquor store in Utah. Rosé bubbles, added lemon zest. Amazing. Please continue to do that for the rest of life.
Okay, number 2. What do you value most in a friendship?
Just one thing, huh? This is the problem I have as an Enneagram 1. If someone's like, what's your favorite song? Who's your favorite artist? What's this? It's like, you can't just put one defining thing on something. But read the question again.
What do you value most in a friendship? It doesn't have to be one.
I think what I value genuinely the most is like genuine people that are who they are to their core. And I guess it's two things again, because you can't just pick one thing. And they like actually do what they say, they show up. Like I think that's why you and I work really well together, is because we reciprocate, we do the same things, and we respect each other's like, this is who you are, this is who I am. We're not trying to change that about each other. We just know that like we value our friendship, so we show up, we do what we say. Like if I say I'm going to come to your birthday, I'm coming to your birthday. You know what I mean? Like to me, I think I've had a lot of French. There's a helicopter and it looks really strange. To me, I've had a lot of friendships where they aren't vulnerable and genuine and they don't do what they say or show up. And like, I think all of that combined is like what I value.
Yeah, I like it. What is your proudest moment?
Oof. Again, one thing I can't
You
with
can
these like
answer as many as you want.
I know, but like that's not the point of questions. I don't understand like questions that are like so limiting. My proudest moment. My proudest moment, I'm gonna say this year, because that's how I can like actually give you an answer, is that I think I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone and forcing myself to do things that I have like in my goals and my vision. And I'm like, we're making this happen, take steps. And I think that's hard to do because like for years I've been saying I want to do certain things, but I don't take the steps to start it. And this year I've been really like, we're doing it, even if it doesn't start off with me, kind of like the podcast. Like we started it and we just went with it. I'm doing that now.
I think it's so funny because on New Year's Eve, when we were making our vision boards, which I feel like we were the two that like took it very seriously.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I think my cleaning lady is against Wally and I having vision boards.
Really?
Because my vision board right now is trapped behind these cabinets.
Oh my gosh.
And Wally's vision board has now fallen behind a cabinet in our bedroom and they're both like propped up. And it's happened each time when the cleaning lady comes and I think she doesn't like our vision boards.
What the hell, cleaning lady?
Anyways, continue.
Okay, I think that you and I took the vision board activity on New Year's very seriously. We were very drunk, but I remember just you and I sitting at the table
and struggling to be like,
and we were both like, we really want to put things on this vision board that really
intentional.
means something to us and that we're really going to try to accomplish this year. And I feel like we're both working towards that, and I'm really
Yeah.
proud of us.
I mean, if I could see mine right now, I'd have more reminders. I'm gonna get it out, but yeah, I agree with that. Like, but for real, I think that that's what I'm most proud of right now is like, it's not easy doing these things that we want to do, like to live the life that we
have
want
big
and to
dreams.
chase our goals and our dreams. And I'm really proud of me and us for really trying to do it.
Yeah, yeah. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot in our life together, and I feel like this is the year that we've made the biggest growth, I would say.
It's because we dealt with a lot of like bullshit trauma and like we're in a healthier place, I would
Yeah,
say.
for sure. Okay, what is your favorite thing that you and I do together?
Well, first of all, drink wine. I really enjoy when you don't drink with me, it makes me sad. But I think we kind of talked about it already today, but I think it's like when we get together, we're just kind of like slugs.
Yeah, we are
We
lazy.
and it's not that we're lazy, we just like casually get to our list because we genuinely like relax and enjoy time together. And I think it's like my favorite. Like we have all these big things we want to do, but we're always like probably biting off more than we can chew because when we get together, we like settle. And I think it probably goes to show like how crazy our lives really are because we get together and it's like peaceful and calming and we're just like, I just want to like chill and drink wine with you and I don't want any responsibility. And I think that's my favorite.
I like it. What are you most grateful for this past year? So your 33rd year of life.
So from August last year until now. Let me take a sip while I think on that.
It's a hard question.
Sorry for the silence, everybody. Read the question again.
What are you most grateful for this 33rd year of life?
Okay, so two things. I'm grateful that we still have a stable income. That's huge. I think about that a lot, like how there's no way I could be doing the things we do or reaching the goals that we're trying to reach if we didn't have stable income. But I think the real piece of it is the power that the universe is like reinforcing in me. Like it's given me a couple wake up calls, like realignment things where I'm like, I did not see my year going this way, or it's completely like flipped the script on like what I thought my life was going to be. And I think it comes from the universe and like I feel it through the universe, like showing me things while also giving me like backing and security, like, hey, you still get to have your job. And also maybe you don't want this future anymore, but we're still gonna make sure you have income. And I think that those are like really things that like have been highlighted to me and also I'm like massively grateful for.
I like it. What are your wishes, goals, dreams, etc. for this next year?
Wishes, goals, dreams. That's a lot.
I know. I know. When I was writing it, I was like, this is kind of a lot, but also I'm very curious.
My wishes, wait, just for the year? Is that what the question
For
is?
this next year, so
Okay.
your 34th year of life.
My wish for this next year is that I buy two Airbnbs and not just one. I hope to have two by the time I'm 35. Wow, that's weird to say. So
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
big
It
wish.
is weird. We're almost gonna be 35 in a year. It's
That's a
insane.
wish. What's the next part of it? Wish.
Wishes, goals, dreams. So it can all be like,
My dream is that I no longer have a 9 to 5 job, W-2 job. I basically work for myself, and everything that we've been like putting out starts to create income that I no longer work for the man. I work for the motherfucking queen herself on August 6th. That's her day. So that's my wish. My dream? My dream is that that like 10 pounds that I always say I'm gonna lose actually goes away. And I say a dream because it likely won't happen because I really enjoy food. And that's okay because that's
we love good food.
experiences.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've noticed in like the last couple like months is just like I have some weight that I would like to not have, but I also have experiences and life that I've lived because of it. And I'm actually okay with that because I still work out. I'm still trying to be healthy and I think that's great.
I love that. Okay. Why do you love your birthday so much? And have you always loved your birthday this much?
I think we've talked about this once, maybe twice. I don't know if it's on the podcast. Why do I love it? I love it because I actually don't normally love to like put attention on myself or pay attention to myself or force people to celebrate me. I think for the most part I'm quite humble even though I think I'm a baby narcissist. Um and so I think I like it because it gives me that extra like reminder of like this is my motherfucking day. I'm allowed to have it and you should all be grateful that I'm in your life. Baby narcissist. But I think it comes down to like I give so much to everyone and everything around me, and this is the time for me to stop and be like, okay, now it's time to like
Chill.
celebrate me because most of the time I'm like running around crazy. Like even today, like you saw, like even though I would like to not have any responsibility, I always have some level and it's a lot. And this gives me the reason to be like, actually, it's my birthday now because I don't normally ask for that. What's the
Okay,
other
good.
part of the question?
Have you always loved your birthday this
Oh,
much?
we've definitely talked about this once. Once.
What?
Oopsie. Um,
Again, we're 2 bottles in to rosé bubbles.
as I can't speak and I drink more.
And we
Um,
had some mushrooms again.
mushroom chocolates, you can buy them over the counter. They're not illegal.
They're not.
Um, I vividly have a memory, and I think I made it up. We've talked about this.
Yeah, we have talked about
Where
that.
I have it in my scrapbook, and it's me at the park on my birthday, and I'm all alone with my birthday cake, and I made up in my mind. I still think it's made up because I know there's other people there. There's no way there wasn't. But in my mind, I had a birthday party and nobody came. And I think that that kind of just goes to show like how I feel in general in life. And what goes on in my mind a lot is like I'm showing up and I'm here, but like no one shows up for me. And I think that's why I made up this like fake scenario because even if I do have something that's like mine, a lot of times that's been taken from me because of like people in my life or my family. And so I have not always loved it because I felt like it never mattered. And I think that's why I put so much emphasis on it now is because like I fucking matter. And people like to take that from me.
I love that.
So yeah, I made it up though. There was definitely people there.
Okay.
Trauma.
I love how when we like drop something traumatic on the podcast, we're always like, "Ooh, trauma," and then like laugh.
Moving
like,
on.
Actually, that's kind of traumatic.
I definitely laughed through my trauma.
Okay, I think it's healthy. I think that's healthy because I do the same. I make stupid jokes.
I mean, it's like I make a joke about it because it's like awkward. Obviously, I'm talking to a public audience, but I laugh about it because it's also I've already processed part of it. It's just weird to say out loud.
It's like some comfort. I think laughing is such like a healthy, happy emotion and like
Yeah.
thing to do that I feel like it brings comfort.
Well, and like I don't, even though I'm a Leo and a baby narcissist, I don't actually want your attention around it. I don't need you to be like, oh my God, that's so sad. I want to be like, this is what I noticed and it's fine, but also like, haha, fuck me. Moving on.
Okay. What was your first impression of me?
I've thought about this before, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I don't actually know, to be honest. Like, I think it's hard because when I first met you at that Halloween party, Tony and our friend came in these morph suits and they were wildly obnoxious. And I
Oh my God, so
fucking hate wildly obnoxious people. And so they came in these morph suits and they were just like lerping around and they were just like being crazy. And I remember just being like, who are these people? Like, I didn't really know them. And then I knew one of them because I'd met her before you. And I was like, wow, this is a lot. And so I was just like sitting out by the fire. And I think you gave me your lip gloss from your tits. And I remember just being like, wow, she's really like her. I think it's an energy thing. Like I think that's why it's hard for me to explain. Like I pick up on energies and their energy was too much for me, too like annoying. I was irritated. Your energy was just like calm and happy and I liked to be around that.
I mean, and guys, we've talked about this multiple times before that we were like, what happened after the Halloween party? We
I
don't
don't
know.
recall.
We just all of a sudden were like best friends and
Yeah.
always around each other. And I honestly don't know what happened
Like,
after that.
I think if I had to like imagine it and like try and like connect the dots, it really came down to like I probably friend requested you or you were friend requested me. We became friends on social media, and then it was like
Facebook was the only social media at the time.
there was no Instagram.
Instagram
Weird.
didn't happen until we were like 2020, I think.
What the fuck? I
Well,
was
no, 'cause
20.
we met at 21.
It was
No,
probably
was
brand
like
new.
23.
It was probably brand new.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll have to look at my first Facebook post, but it was definitely Instagram wasn't a thing.
Okay, Google. When did Instagram start?
Oh my God, so it was
2010?
already. But Facebook, I think, was more popular
Yeah.
because a lot of my Facebook memories around October are like you and I communicating.
I think Snapchat was still big at this time too. It was like entering.
Snapchat.
It was entering, I think.
Yeah.
But if I had to piece it together, I would say we friend requested each other or something like that, and then someone had something, or we were doing something, and I was like, I want to invite Tayler, and somebody I knew or you knew had our
Mhm.
numbers, and so it was like, make sure they're there, because like I think we both just wanted to have each other in our lives.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because I can't remember who asked us how I had met Lois, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I can't remember. Just all of a sudden, Lois is in my life, and she
Yeah,
just
how
had
did you
to say,
meet?
Lois, I know that you listen. If you remember how we met, let me know.
Well, she was there that night.
At the Halloween party.
Yeah, because Dave wore a George W. Bush. Is that his name? George Bush, the president? Is he W?
Oh, I think so.
He wore a George W. Bush mask, and I have a picture of me and Dorothy with his mask on.
What the heck?
I went with her and Dave.
I don't remember meeting Lois that night. Lois, I need you to fill me in. But I feel like
She had a half skull face.
I don't remember. I feel like the
Wow.
people that
I was
have
the only
most,
memorable person.
I guess so. I feel like the people that have the most memorable, important roles in my life, I don't remember how we became friends. I feel like that's like a soul
I think
connection
so.
type thing. Is that like our souls had been searching
Yeah.
and like they found each other and it was like none of the other fluff matters.
Well, and like you don't really recall like how the connection happened. You just knew there was a connection, and maybe it's a past life thing. I don't know. Judy talks to me about this a little bit, and I don't understand that. But maybe that's what it is. It's like in a past life you already had that connection, so you don't need to reconnect and like have that memorable thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
How can people best help you when you are stressed, burnt out, etc.? It's a hard question.
Yeah, I've actually had this in therapy, so I'm trying to think of like what her and I talked about. I think what it comes down to is like people probably doing things like what helps me when I'm stressed and burnt out is like people calming down plans, or we have plans where it's just calm. So it's like if you recognize that I'm burnt out or stressed, you take something off my hands and just do it without asking, or we find a reason that it's like we create a space of peace, because I have a problem of like stepping back and doing nothing, which is why I think for my birthday I was like, I want to do just like nothing. I want to dick around all day. And it's hard for me to do that. And so I think that that's what it is like when we went to the lake, it was like I just kind of want to be here, you know. But I sometimes have to be forced, because if I get too burnt out, then I'll kind of recluse a little bit and I'll show up and like do the things that we're supposed to, but I won't actually enjoy it.
Makes sense. Okay, last question of mine before we get to our listener questions. What is the best piece of advice you've ever Wow, let me try that again. What is the best piece of advice you've been given?
I hate this question so much, and people ask it all the time to like people,
Shit.
not to me,
Sorry.
not to me. It's not, but like people, it's like a standard question. Again, I can't just pick one thing, but what I would say is the best advice I've had has come from learning more, like gaining more understanding. So Rachel Hollis's books or podcasts or things like that. Like there's never just one piece of advice that's stuck with me. It's like I'm constantly evolving and changing, and so is the pieces of advice. And nothing has like stuck with me so much that it's like this one thing. But I mean, I guess if I want to be like really fucking cliche and like basic answer, I'd say Marilyn Monroe's quotes are amazing. I
You
love
do
the,
have the tattoo
I
on your body.
I did love them and I still do love them, but like that's not the one thing that stuck with me, you know, like it's constantly me growing and evolving and wanting to learn and learning from others that I think is like what always sticks with me. It's like as long as I'm always growing and evolving, like that's what sticks with me.
I love it. I love it. Okay. These are not really rapid fire. But that's okay. Thank you everybody for submitting your questions.
I'm
These are
nervous.
really, really good questions.
These are from strangers on the internet and I'm scared.
Okay, ready? What is one beauty item you cannot live without?
Tinted sunscreen.
Okay.
I just got a new one. It's amazing. What is the brand? God, I don't remember.
I just saw it in your bathroom.
I know.
Too,
I
and
use
was
it
like,
all
huh.
the time. I'll have to link it for you guys on the stories because I can't remember, but tinted sunscreen is the best thing ever. On days where I don't actually have to do a lot, throw that on, amazing. Your face looks flawless. All the redness goes away. I don't know.
Okay, we're opening up another bottle. Sorry to get quiet for a minute. This is Bonnie Dune.
Bonnie?
Bonnie.
Bonnie Dune. Oh,
Bonnie
aliens. Aliens went to this vineyard.
Okay, this vineyard had an alien sighting, so that's exciting because I fuck with aliens.
In 1954, I think.
I fucking love aliens. If anything has had a UFO / alien sighting, let me know. I want to go visit it. So when Shelby said that this wine had a UFO sighting, I was like, buying.
It was in a village in France, which is where this comes from. Oh, Elta MD.
Oh, I love Elta MD.
They
Okay, give me your cup. We're going to
hold on,
this
everybody.
live on the air. Is that UPS? Okay, sorry for the break here before we get back to the rapid fire, but I really wanted to make sure that we reviewed this wine live on the air.
It's blessed by aliens.
We love aliens. Okay, that fuck.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That is so good.
It was on sale for literally $12.
Bonnie Dune. I'm gonna actually keep this bottle because I love the UFO with like the rosé beams down. Delicious. 10 out of 10.
The thing that got me with it is it says pink wine of the earth, and it's saying that like rosé. It's saying that like rosé is like the wine from the earth.
Our root chakra is thriving right now. Okay.
Wait, before you go to the next question. So it's Elta MD UV Restore tinted. So I used to use a different one that was just like a clear UV clear or something like that. But now that I'm 34 and I'm entering that age, this is the one that's recommended for like our skin is because it restores the UV damage you've already had. And they recently upgraded or changed like how their product and packaging is much better. I will definitely link it for you guys. And you can use your FSA to buy it because it's FSA approved and it's $50 and it will last probably 3 months.
Nice. I love it. I'm definitely gonna purchase it. Okay, mini or standard golden doodle?
Mini.
Okay.
I only like small dogs. If you have a big dog, I'm annoyed.
Okay. Absolute favorite champagne.
For a second, I thought you were saying absolute vodka, or I was gonna say,
God,
ew.
no,
So read it again.
Oh my gosh, Wally just got home. Oh my gosh, with champagne. That's so sweet.
Amazing.
Okay, absolute favorite champagne.
It's hard because we mostly drink Prosecco. So let's be clear, when we say champagne, most of the time we're just talking about bubbles, sparkling wine, Prosecco. So if you ask me what my favorite bubbles is,
let me just say,
Moon Napa.
Okay, yes, I love Moon Napa. This question specifically said no Prosecco or
so champagne.
Actual champagne.
I personally love Veuve.
I love Veuve too. Oh, I love Veuve.
But yeah, I'll go with Veuve for now. But again, you don't buy, like, especially here in Utah, you don't buy a lot of actual champagne because it's extremely, I mean, it's normally very expensive anyways. It's a much classier.
It's marked up a lot in Utah.
So it's still expensive other places, but it's more expensive in Utah, so you don't really get it here.
Okay, what's your favorite treat, snack, or drink? Wine is not included.
Oh my God. That was so many questions within one. That's so
Well,
frustrating.
what's
It's so
your
hard for me.
favorite treat, snack, or drink? No wine. Wine does not count.
So outside of wine, I'm gonna answer each of them because they're all different categories and that bothers me. So my favorite drink outside of wine would probably be water. Really enjoy water. My favorite treat would probably be, I don't snack or treat a lot, but it would have to probably be something like purple Skittles. I'm gonna say purple Skittles.
Like the purple package?
Yeah.
That is I did not expect you to say that.
That would probably be it. Or like a Milky Way or something. It just depends. Like sometimes I crave chocolate, which is very rare, and sometimes I crave like gummy or like sweet candies. I don't know, chocolate sweet too. But I don't crave like chocolate a lot. So it'd be like it just depends on my vibes, but it's always either caramel or like something like Skittles.
Okay.
My snack, fucking flaming hot sour cream and cheddar Lay's right now. 100% there.
Ruffles.
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 Ruffles is Lay's, no?
No, Lay's and Ruffles are way different.
Oh, I don't know my chips. Those are amazing. They're so good. So good.
Yuck. She had those at the lake this last week.
I just ate some on Sunday. They were lit.
Red or white wine for the rest of your life?
I used to be a red gal.
We've been kind of fucking with white lately.
I was just gonna say Chardonnay for life because you could have it in the morning or the evening. And red wine like at noon is no.
Red wine is definitely like a nighttime nightcap.
And cold weather. Colder
I
weather.
actually can't really drink red wine in the summer.
Like it's hard to drink red wine when it's warm because red wine is like so heavy and you're already hot and swollen. So if you add red wine, it's like unwell. So I would say definitely a Chardonnay for life.
Yeah, I like it. What is your biggest ick?
Poof. One, huh?
That's a list, it sounds like.
One time Taylor and I were gonna do that trending reel about like icks.
Not an ick about me.
No, we were gonna do that and it was so exciting for me, but we never actually did it. I mean, everyone has irritations. What would be one that is big? I think honestly it just comes down to like people not cleaning up their messes. Like I hate walking around my house and there's people shit laying around. It's like, or them again, there's not just one thing, but like, or them just tossing their dishes in the not the dishwasher. That would be at least nice. But like people just like not following through with like the actions, you know, it's like, oh, I took my shoes off, or oh, I ate, let me set it somewhere. It's like not completing something and it leaves a mess. I hate messes and I hate that I have to clean them up because I will see mess anywhere. I see any flaw anywhere. You have an eyebrow out of whack. I've actually been thinking I have one on this thing. I had one hanging down. Like any flaw, I will see it. So it's like clean up your shit.
Like it. Ideal day in the life of Shelby.
An ideal day would be that you wake up. You don't have to wake up because you have early meetings or like rushing somewhere. You wake up and you get to wake up and you can journal. That would be nice. You wake up and you journal on a balcony with some fresh ocean breeze.
Yes.
And then you make coffee and you walk to the beach and you walk the beach with your coffee and it's still early morning sun that's not too hot. But you're still getting like the morning sun and you can just like breathe. I can just smell it right now.
Me too, actually.
And you can just smell it and you're just walking and it's so calm and peaceful. And there's moments where you could like cry because something was just so magical. And then you process all these things and then you walk and then you come back and then you get ready for like your business that you own and you're having all these meetings and you're dealing with shit and your kids are off to school and they're just like chilling. And then you come home and you make dinner and then you sit out on your balcony or your porch or your deck you hear the ocean waves, you have a beautiful sunset, you have ocean air nearby, and that's how you end your day.
Love. I love.
That's how I dream my days all the time.
I love that. I love that. That was North Carolina for me.
That's like when I do my activations, that's what I'm like imagining. That's how my days go every day.
Love it. Okay. Take a sip for this.
Oh no.
What is your naughtiest secret?
My naughtiest secret is that I have had a one night stand.
What?
I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm shocked. I've known you for so long and never known it.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Okay, we're gonna expand
I
on
don't
that
I don't
after
even
recording.
I don't even know his name.
Okay, we're definitely expanding on that one. We're not recording. Next question. Holy shit. Was an answer. Okay, why do you hate the mountains so much?
I don't like to be dirty, and the mountains usually contain dirt. So if you're gonna go to the mountains and see a lake, or you're gonna walk around in the mountains, you're getting dirt in your shoes, on your hands, like no one's clean. And I don't like to be dirty. And I don't know where that came from, or I think it's partly Enneagram 1, but I just like like the beach. I love the beach. I hate getting sand all over me. If I can control my environment at the beach, that's fine. But there's something about like the mountain that's just so dirty. And I don't know if it's because I grew up going to the mountains and we'd be four-wheeling and like dirt is all over you. And so I have like this thing. But if you go fishing, if you go to just sit there, you smell like smoke. Like it's just this constant dirty thing. It's beautiful, but like you have to really like like on the trail, run, hike, whatever
Oh
thing
my
we're
God,
calling
I was
it.
so dirty after that.
I just kept like I knew that I was gonna be in the dirt, so it didn't
Mhm.
mess with me. But I think if I hadn't prefaced like you're going to get dirty, I would have been really I get irritated.
Thing about me was so dirty. In my shower, I could see like dirt going down the drain, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I hate this."
I straight up went to bed and didn't shower. So, I mean, let's clarify. I took a nap, but like I didn't feel dirty at all.
Oh, I felt so dirty, but I was also very sweaty. So, okay, can I come hot tub?
Right now, probably not because I need to get new filters and I'm draining it after my birthday and it needs to be cleansed. And so probably not, but also I don't know who you are. Maybe you're Tanya, because I would imagine it was Tanya. And the answer is yes, but like you need to give warning, like, hey, I'm always down to hot tub. No one wants to hot tub. So
I do the second my leg is healed, every single time I basically part-time live at your house. Every single time I'm here, I'm hot tubbing. So
I know I was gonna hot tub today, but I'm telling you, the hot tub's done well. It's a lot of maintenance that I was not. People talked about it. It's a real thing.
the
Like
hot tub's done well.
it is. I mean, it's clean.
You guys, we just had the most traumatic 10 minutes of our life that you guys will not know because we were editing it out. We had a delivery. We didn't know we had to have a password. We thought Shelby's dog was missing. What the hell?
Yeah. And Piper, she's my girl dog, and she was literally just underneath pillows, just laying there while we're
Freaking out.
running the streets, calling her name.
Oh God. We need some rosé to that. Okay.
What was the question I was answering?
I don't know about the hot tub. Your hot tub's on well.
Oh, my hot tub. Okay. So if you ever get a hot tub, just know that's a bit of a process. It's very scientific. And also, if you can just have an in-ground hot tub with your pool, that's where it's at.
Like it. Okay. What's your biggest fear and how do you get over / deal with your fear?
My biggest fear is probably, I don't know, fear. I don't have fears. I have like worries, but like fear to me is like something you're deathly afraid of. Maybe that's just like a weird thing that I think about fear, but like to me, it's like, oh my gosh, actually, time out. I changed my answer. Moths. That is my biggest fear. I was gonna say something about like I have worry about my kids dying or something, like, but I don't fear it. Like it could happen. It's like a
Yeah.
worry. So that's what I was trying to clarify. But then I forgot. Moths, I would cry if one was in here right now. I'd cry and like hide under a table.
I can agree with that. I've seen her cry because of a mom.
So yeah, biggest fear moths.
Yeah. Okay.
Butterflies could do almost the same effect, but they're not as creepy. Moths are still like a little bit like angelic.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite day of the week?
Um, day of the week. Probably Friday or Sunday. I
Okay.
really enjoy my Sundays because usually I try to like keep them sacred. I keep the Sabbath holy, not
Amen.
not by praising Jesus, but by like not scheduling myself a lot of things, but I also love Fridays because I kind of fuck around a lot. Like there's not a lot of work happening on Fridays, especially in the summer. And I tend to like get to do like more fun vibes. And it's like, oh, now I'm gonna pop rosé at like 3. We're gonna barbecue. Like, I don't know, I like those
Love it.
vibes.
What is the last song you listened to?
I started from the bottom and now I'm rich.
Iggy Azalea.
Started Iggy Azalea. It is my walkout song. And yeah, that's the last song. Oh no, in the club, because we started the episode with it.
True,
Because it's my birthday.
true.
In case you forgot during this episode, it's my birthday.
Same socks for a month or same undies for a week?
Same socks for a month.
Uh,
You would
okay.
wear the same underwear for a week.
No, but socks, I count with your sock situation. Okay, would
Ugh.
you rather have everyone be able to read your thoughts or have access to your web history?
Web history. You do not want my thoughts because I say some crazy shit in my head.
Lifetime partnership or a one night stand with a celebrity crush? Now that we know you've had a one night stand,
Read the question again.
would you rather have a lifetime partnership or a one night stand with your celebrity crush?
I mean, the practical side of me is like, sure, lifetime partner,
Who is your celebrity crush?
but like celebrity crush would be dope. That's a lot of clinging going on with
You
you.
can't hear it. You've
Um,
already tried.
let me clarify a few things. If you were asking me this question 10 years ago at 24, 100%, knowing what I know now, I would pick a lifetime partner. If I was like set up the way that I am now, like financially secure, confident, I've worked through my traumas, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd do a one night stand with my celebrity crush because I also don't need no man. Back in the day, I needed a man to help me get to where I am now. And that's just the facts. Like, I needed income, I needed like love, I needed all the traumas, everything. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am. My celebrity crush, there's multiples. Again, I don't like defined questions. I would definitely be down for Ryan Reynolds. Channing Tatum is still number one at the top, along with Charlie Hunnam. They're like tied. I would definitely have a threesome with them for sure.
Oh my god.
They look the same almost, and like they're both super hot. And Channing's a bit freaky, so he'd probably like
He is freaky.
he'd probably be down for that too.
He probably would be. Mine's MGK all day, and we know MGK's a little bit freaky. And I love you, Tony, but I would really like to have a one night stand with MGK.
So he's just like you just have that one number one. You're really good at like defining like one thing.
I am. MGK is definitely without a doubt my number one. Celebrity crush.
I
one
could
night
name
stand.
I could name at least 10 that I'm like, give me either one of them in the 10, I'd be down.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So along this celebrity line, what is a famous person you cannot stand?
Hmm.
It's a hard question. I have a lot of famous people I can't stand.
That's what I was just gonna say. I don't get like these big like icks
Mhm.
to people like you do. Like you get really turned off by certain things or people and like really can't stand the thought or even their voice, anything. I can't stand. I don't have one.
You don't.
Because I don't care if I think they're annoying, like I would still be interested, like I would still love to hear MGK's story. I would still love to hear like JoJo Siwa, like she's annoying, but I think it's like comical. Like there's always parts of me that I can find like something good tied to it. Like you hate Kale. I see so much
Kale from Teen Mom, if you guys don't know.
I see so much triumph in a lot of like what she came up with, and
So it's my sister, and
although
I
she's
just love Kale.
obnoxious and although you don't like certain parts of her, like that's her own traumas, and like she's actually building an empire, and like I applaud that, you know? So it's like I can always find something interesting where I can applaud them and see their strength, and like I'm curious about it. They could annoy me, but I'm also like, there's parts of it that I'm like, "Hmm, okay." So I don't have like, I don't have an answer for that.
Interesting. All right.
I'm very open, even though you guys think I'm an asshole.
What is something you hate that everyone else loves?
Kale, just kidding. Not the salad. Lowry.
Kale Lowry from Teen Mom.
Something I
Yeah,
love
Tayler.
that everyone hates.
Hamilton. Oh no, that's
No, I
never mind.
don't enjoy Hamilton because everyone is obsessed. Something I love that everyone hates. Honestly, I think I'm a bit of a trendsetter. Just kidding. I actually feel like people genuinely like the things I like, so I don't really have an answer for that. Like, is there something that you can think of that I like that you don't like?
Kale. Kale Lowry from Teen
Okay,
Mom.
aside from that,
Um,
there's not like a food I'm obsessed with. There's not like a thing I'm obsessed with. I don't get into fixations or obsessions, so I feel like it's hard. Like, I'm not like into the things that people are trending with either. So it's like, I'm into this kind of clothing, and everyone's like, no, fuck that, you know?
yeah, I don't think so. I can't think of anything off
I'm
the
very
top of my head.
neutral.
Yeah. And you don't really shit on things that people love, besides
No,
MGK.
I try not to shit on him, but he's just not attractive to me. Um, I would say in my own immediate family, vegetables. I
Okay.
love vegetables and they fucking hate them.
I would say also maybe marijuana.
Do people love it?
I think so.
I have a big issue with people smoking weed and becoming dumb.
Hmm.
Like
And I think
that's,
some people that's like their escape.
yeah, like
Yeah.
for me, if I drink wine, I don't like, and maybe that's part of like the bias here is because Wally and I've talked about this because he's a recovering alcoholic, and we talk about this where I have this big aversion to people that smoke weed. And I always have to clarify, it's like, I don't care if they do it. I care if they do it and they become idiots. So, like, when he drank, he became out of control. I don't drink and get out of control. If I became obnoxious and I became somebody that people were like, wow, that's too much, okay, I get that. But, like, for me, like, when people smoke or use a substance, I have noticed that they zone out. Like, and that's why I've always hated it. Like, I had a best friend growing up in high school. And when she would do it, like she just was like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah," like you couldn't even speak to them. If I can't speak to you and like continue hanging out with you for the night, like
That's a problem.
that to me is like that substance shouldn't be there. So same with Wally, like alcoholism. Like if you can't drink and still be able to like be part of the party, I don't agree with it. So it doesn't even have to just be marijuana, but I've tend to see that people that usually smoke, like they get here, where they're like basically asleep or
Super high.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's why I just can't fuck with it. And alcohol, I know I can control it. Most people can control it unless they're an alcoholic. So I don't know.
Hmm. Okay. What what's your favorite sex toy?
Oh my God, do you remember when we got you that sex toy for your birthday?
Guys got me that
You
vibrator.
loved it.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it still.
Still fucking with it for sure.
I don't really fuck it or with it. I'm not sure. I don't really have one. I don't really use them.
Okay.
I think also that comes down to like being a mom and stuff too, like being completely maxed out all the time. Like I don't have a lot of space or time for those things. So maybe in 10 years when we have my next birthday episode, I'll probably have a different answer.
Okay.
Like I have one, but it's like, is it my favorite? No, it's just there.
Okay.
And I use it when I need it.
Okay.
But it's not my favorite.
So I think I know the answer to this next one, but strangest place you've pooped.
Oh, I hope it's the recent story.
What reason? I'm thinking of Lake Powell when you got food poisoning and had to like shit in the sand. That would be strange for me.
That was
That was
more of a
trauma.
necessity. Definitely a necessity. For me right now, I would say my answer is the strangest place I pooped was a porta potty that had no toilet paper.
Oh,
And that was
at the
recent.
motocross races.
Because I don't poop in strange places. And that one was like actually probably highlights more than the Lake Powell thing. Like the Lake Powell thing was like there was a sickness going on, and my friend Josh, bless his heart, just held a towel for me while I was just like shitting,
My worst nightmare.
which was like he knew there was nothing I could do, and it was bridesmaids moment where it was just like coming out of you, but the whole camp kind of had like a sickness like this, and he's like a brother. For me, the strangest place was being in a porta potty. You're trapped, you're hot.
The heat. It was so hot.
Yeah, it's
Her nephew's motocross race.
yeah. So I'm at a motorcycle race. There's a guy that's down. There's life flight happening. Nothing is
had
happening.
Freaking handlebar go through his eyeball.
Yeah. It was really crazy. So we're all standing there. There's no races happening. I have to poop. My sister and I have already had like a problem because we think we ate watermelon and salsa, and that's a bad combination. And I'm sitting there and I was like, I need to go to the bathroom real fast. Run away to a party that I think is safe. It was not a safe environment. And nothing was happening. There's no noises because there's a helicopter coming. I get in and it's like I couldn't even check to see if there's toilet paper. And next thing I know, I look over, there's no toilet paper. My sister's not answering because there's trauma happening.
I'm driving.
It's fucking hot. There's no toilet paper. There's no one around me. And I'm sweating and I literally thought I was going to die. So to me, that was the strangest, most uncomfortable part.
Respect for you.
I made it out, but like I'm traumatized.
For sure. You should be granted. Okay, last two questions. What gift do you want most for your birthday?
The gift I want most for my birthday is the JBL karaoke combination. It is a massive speaker with great bass and 2 wireless microphones. I really want that, and I will get it for Christmas.
If you guys know, if you're new to this podcast, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. We are the karaoke queens. We're going to hook up the karaoke machine right after we record this. Our karaoke song is Celine Dion. We love karaoke.
We don't just have one. That's a thing. These one-sided things are crazy to me.
Once you start a karaoke party,
it won't stop.
Microphones all motherfucking night.
We're Leos when it comes to karaoke because we want to sing the whole time.
For sure. We just love it. I scream. We have a great time. It's fine.
She does.
We don't have good voices. It's okay. We love it so much.
I have a great voice, but I get carried away at karaoke.
Carried away, karaoke. Okay, this is the last question. I think it's a very important question, and that's why I'm ending on it. And I really love your answer to this.
Do you? Because I don't have it yet.
Give us more info on your upbringing and how you broke the cycle and how you are actively healing.
That's so many questions within one.
That is a lot.
Start with the first question.
Give us more info on your upbringing.
My upbringing is I have 2 parents who were involved in drugs and alcohol, who could not sustain taking care of 4 children because I am the 4th. Well, technically I have a half sister, so she would be the 5th, but I have plenty of siblings outside of that. So solid siblings. I am the 4th. And at 2 years old, I moved in with my grandma and grandpa because my mother, I think my dad could have been in jail. I still don't fully understand all the logistics. I think my father was in jail and my mom was probably staying with her grandparent or her parents. Sorry, that's my grandparents. And she's also adopted. So there's like trauma that she already has that like she's never worked through because she's adopted. And they were gonna give me and my younger sister, so she's 3 years older than me and her were going to be given up for adoption around 2. I want to say. So my grandma and grandpa took us in on my dad's side. They already had two of my other siblings that are older than me, and I lived with them. Maybe my mom and dad were gonna get me back, or maybe just my mom. I don't fully know. I went and stayed with her for a little bit. That became quite traumatic as well. And then I got brought back to my grandma's house in Blanding. And I lived with her, didn't have any contact with my mom, had some contact with my dad. He was in and out of jail, prison.
For drugs, right?
I think always
Ish.
drugs. I think it was always drugs. Until 18, I think is when my mom came back into my life.
I would say even later than that.
No, 17. I met her on 17 again. That was the first time since I was like a small child because my sister had her in her life. And so she came down to be with her, also maybe my graduation, and I was still 17. And then that's when I was like, oh, hey, mom. And she helped me get my apartment up in Sandy with my best friend. Shout out to Danielle. And it was still quite traumatic, I would say. And that's my upbringing. So basically, grew up LDS, grew up with my grandparents, not really having actual parents. So that's the upbringing, I would
Okay.
say.
And how you broke the cycle and are actively healing. I think I'll kind of answer this. I'd say tune into the rest of the season. We have a lot of episodes planned that really dive into our inner child, dive into both of our upbringings, dive into how we're breaking the cycle and how we are actively healing. What do you
For
say?
sure. I would definitely say too, like, because we're like we already mentioned it earlier in the episode, like I think this we're in a healthier place than we've been in a while. And like I think we kind of say that a lot, but I think it's like each year we kind of level up a little. I think we felt stagnant, but I think it's because we were in the trenches. And I would say like therapy was a big thing. How I broke the cycle specifically, I don't think there's one specific thing, but I think what it came down to is like I never wanted to be into drugs like my parents. I never wanted to abandon my children like my parents. I never like that was always a big cycle breaker for me is like be present with your children because you didn't have that. So that was like the first thing. Cycle breaking when it came to the religion aspect is like it didn't feel true to me. Like there's parts of it that I think are great and kind and have good intent. It's not executed well, and that never stuck with me. So if it's not executed well, that means it's not being carried out the right way that it should be, and I can still live parts of it but not in the church. And so there's different aspects, like you have your religious aspects, you have your personal aspects, you have your family aspects, you have your career aspects, like so there's all these different parts of you, and you need to figure out like what's true to you. And I always had like this true center that like was guiding me, like what is it on a compass,
Yeah.
like a compass. What is happening?
I'm just making sure this is still recording. It is okay.
Like a compass like guides you, and like I've always truly believed that like my inner core has told me like this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And maybe that's because I have a great like connection with my intuition, but I would say that for every part of your life, like that's how I broke it. Like I knew I wasn't going to be this, or I watched other people. Like I've seen my sister do stuff that I was like I will never allow this to happen because I know how it affects children. And I think because I went through a lot of, I mean, it's not any more traumatic than some people's stories, but it was still traumatic. I can't even say that after this person's story today.
It is, and that's the
But
biggest thing to know about trauma is
yeah,
everybody's trauma is unique to them.
I'm
It
not
doesn't matter
trying
what
to
it
be
is.
like cliche, but like it's true. Like my trauma, like it's quite extensive, and there's probably parts of it that I still don't even know that I haven't unlocked.
Mhm.
But I also like grew up being like, I will never allow this. Like this is unacceptable. And I think like that's a very Enneagram one of me where I'm like, that's fucked up. And I think that's why I'm the same friend that I am or the person I am in life, because it's like that's not acceptable. Because and I think it comes down to like, do you want to allow this in your life or do you not? Do you have boundaries or do you not? And like I don't have family in my life because I have boundaries, and that's breaking the cycle. I don't allow certain people in my life because they don't have the ability to be there and be in a space that's acceptable to me. And I have very high standards. Basically, I'm the Mormon, but not Mormon with my standards.
I think too, what I want to say is we started this podcast in 2020, which was such a traumatic time for everybody
You
in the
say that
entire
so much, and
world.
it was like such a great time for me.
Kate, but we're gonna have an episode that dives into this. It was a very traumatic time for everybody, even if I too feel the same way that 2020 was a great year for me.
I had a trauma response though, where it's like,
Yes.
this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
We need to rise above. And that's like
Yes.
my trauma spoke to me,
Mm-hmm.
different than other people's trauma speak to them.
But it was like we started at a completely different phase of our lives. And
Mhm.
really, if you guys have been listening since the first day of the podcast,
Or have known us for a long time.
yeah, you've seen us grow through each of these phases in the past almost 5 years, which is so insane.
Yeah.
But really, like, if you have questions about our life or questions about how we've been cycle breakers or how we've gotten into therapy, like, we have so many episodes in the past seasons that really dive deep into
Yeah.
this. And I feel like if you are still sticking here from the beginning, or if you're a new listener, we really are so passionate about sharing our stories and being vulnerable that really you're growing up with us, it feels, in a lot of ways.
I think that's what's hard is like you can't put it in a nutshell.
You
Like
can't.
I've lived so many different traumas and different experiences, but the thing that's kept me true is like a friend like Taylor, having crew, a true group of friends that I can rely on, that I can trust. Having therapy was big for me, but it took me a while to get there. Like I needed to feel ready myself. And I think too, just like being honest with myself. Like I always have felt this honest virtue of like, who do I want to be at the end of the day? And I think that's how you start to break cycles. Like you will always slip up. You will always have things. I have slipped up a million times. You hear parts of it in our podcast. There's parts that you will never get to know, but like we all slip up. And what it comes down to is like, who do you want to be at the end of the day? And how do you want to be every single day? And knowing you're going to mess up and that it's okay. Like, I think that's really it. And like you work each day to be better.
And I think that's the biggest reason for why we wanted to do this podcast is we want people to see that, like, we're not perfect at all and we struggle and we have a lot of hardships that we overcome. You just have to choose every single day to not make the same mistakes as your parents or not make the same mistakes as your siblings or your friends or whatever it is. And you just need to rise above. And I know Shelby kind of touched on therapy. I am a big proponent of therapy. I've been going to therapy, can you believe, for 10 years now, which is
almost as
so
long as I've known you.
insane. So insane. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with going in and out of it like Shelby does. There's nothing wrong with it going to it once every week, like I've been doing for 10 years. Like there's nothing wrong with seeking help. And I think that's the biggest thing with being a cycle breaker is you have to have that support of an outside source.
Yeah. Well, and like it doesn't even have to be therapy. Taylor and I use each other
so much.
and we still do. Like if I didn't have her, I don't even know how I would have made it. I don't even know how I would make it. But it's true. Like there's millions of times where I don't feel comfortable talking about a lot of things, but I can talk to Taylor. So like find a person or people that are your like that are going to support that, because if you can't talk to them and vent and they don't judge you and they're going to also push you outside of your comfort zone, like that's crucial. Like otherwise you will get stuck into those patterns and those traditions that you've been raised in, and it's impossible to break them. But you have to have people that are like, hey, we also don't like this too, and that's fucked up, and it's okay that it's happening, and I'm sorry that's happening in your family, because we've all been through it, because families are hard.
Yeah.
And outside of that, like we're here to support you and comfort you and like laugh about it, cry about it, and move on from it, really, at the end of the day. But like I think that's it is like Taylor was saying, like a big reason why we wanted a podcast is like that's so many things. Wow, I'm illiterate at this point. Um, that's so many things that we want to highlight is like you're not alone in this situation, and this isn't just your family going through it, and it's not just you going through it, and it's okay to question it, it's okay to struggle through it, and it's okay to like seek help, cry, laugh, and also go to fucking therapy.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever the therapy looks for you. If it's a talk therapist, if it's a witch doctor like Judy, whatever your therapy
You need a
looks like for you.
combination though, because
Yeah,
like
I
there's
agree with
no
that.
way that I could be in a place to deal with the witch Judy if I hadn't done my talk therapy. Like you need actual
That's
talk
true.
therapy that's not
That's true.
just spiritual, energetic therapy. You need actual, real
Get
therapy.
into the nitty gritty, whether it's EMDR, whether it's DBT, whether it's just traditional talk therapy, whatever it is.
If your therapist fucks with you and challenges you, makes you cry, makes you laugh, like all of the things, like you need that. That's like the real shit that a best friend would probably tell you or a close family member could tell you. If you don't have any of that, your therapist might have to tell you it and they might have to
But
check
let
you.
me tell you a caveat. I'm
There's a caveat.
I know nothing. Okay, I've had two therapists in my life. Both my therapist now, he's amazing. I love him so dearly. My therapist before, I think she served a very specific role in my life to bring me and Tony back together, to bring us, to a healthy state. I owe her so much for that. But past that, she was not worth it. My therapist now, I know absolutely the bare minimum of his life. And I think that's a big thing because my therapist before, I knew so much about her life. I knew her husband had cancer. I knew all about her kids, blah, blah, blah. What I know about my therapist right now is that he has one child and his wife almost died during childbirth. That's the only, and he likes mountain biking. That's the only three things I know about him because he doesn't try to insert himself into my therapy appointment, which that's where my other therapist had a really hard time with inserting her life traumas in. So if your therapist is making your appointment more about them than about you, that's a problem. And the three things I know about my therapist now, it's because it related to my trauma that I'm having. So he was trying to say like, oh, I've been through this. I've been through a medical trauma. Like, I can understand how you're feeling, which I needed that at that moment. But your therapist should never make the appointment about themselves. So if your therapist is making the appointment about themselves, that's where you kind of need to reevaluate things.
I would say the same thing goes for your friends and your
Same,
family.
yes.
If you are ever meeting any person in your life, and I think this comes back to like the breaking generational cycles, if you are in a space where your friends turn your traumas into their stories or their space to share, or you don't feel like you can have these conversations with your friends or family and it's about you and how you're feeling in that moment, then that is a huge red flag that you should pay attention to. Like, again, coming back to it all, like, if you see things in your family or yourself or things that are happening in your spouse in your relationship or your relationship with your kids or your relationship with yourself in general that you're like, I don't like this, this happened in my past, run and find help and find actual friends, find whatever it is that soothes your soul. Girl Wash Your Face was, again, the biggest support for me in my healing. I have read it so many times. I still am a stan for Rachel Hollis. Like, find something that works for you, that speaks to your soul, and is like, we don't tolerate this.
100%.
And like, do it.
Yes. So, ending on that little note,
It's my birthday
so much. I am so thankful for these past, what did I say? 13,
13,
years
I think.
together. That's so insane. But truly, I love you so much, and I do not know where I would be without you. I don't want to cry, so I'm just gonna end it there.
Thanks for being here today.
Freaking birthday!
Thanks for taking the day off.
Of course, I would.
That is a friend. That's a friend.
I would never miss it. I love you so much, truly, and I hope that you've had the best birthday. Cannot wait for our birthday next year when we get to tell you guys what we're doing.
Welcome to Leo season, bitches.
We've been so calm with Leo season. I think because we have such big plans for next year, we're gonna be like so obnoxious. So prepare. You guys all get a year in advance warning.
I mean, in general, we're a lot, and people hate us because we're a lot, but like, you're still here.
Also, I know for our 30th birthday, we planned a whole trip to Napa. It was the best
birthday so far.
Everybody that went still fucking talks about it, so I know you guys appreciate it. Even though you celebrated us the whole time, it was the best trip ever.
But also my anniversary is in August, and we also went on a vow renewal trip,
Mexico,
and we still
same year.
No, it
Was it?
wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Okay, I was like,
We
wait.
still talk about that trip also. I'm
Yes,
telling you,
same.
Leos, you need a Leo in your life. And if you don't have one, call us.
Yes, we
We're
will be your Leo.
we're actually quite open to friends. Just don't be messy. And yeah, like you need a Leo, and also we plan good trips. We plan good
Yes.
vibes. If it's anywhere near Leo season, we will be celebrating and you'll have the best time ever.
Okay, so thank you for tuning in. We're so happy that you're here for this next season. Make sure you tune in to the rest of the season. We have so many great episodes planned.
So many guests.
Yes. Oh my God. So many
So
guests.
many.
And they're so great and we're so excited. So make sure that you tune in. Follow us on all the socials, share with a friend. We honestly love you guys so much for listening. So
Yes.
thank you for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much.
Welcome to season 4, baby. We're so happy to be here.